Hi everyone. Today I'm going to explain a special topic, language variety. Under this topic, I would like to talk about dialect and standard English. Before I start in this lesson, let's see what is my content. My content is first on introduction of dialect. Under this topic, we can talk about example for dialect and parts of dialect. Next one is introduction of standard English. Under this topic, we talk about example for standard English. Third one is difference between dialects and standard English. Fourth one, Sri Lankan standard English and non-standard English. Fifth one, key difference of Sri Lankan English and standard English. Under this topic, we can talk about vocabulary differences, misuse of grammar, wrong pronunciation, doubling of word, change of the word order, and next conclusion and finally activity. First of all, we talk about dialect. What is the dialect? Dialect is a way of speaking language that is special to certain groups of people or certain area. It is spoken by subgroups of speakers. These subgroups differ geographically or socially or educationally and so on from the rest of the speakers of the language. Think of it like this. Imagine one big tree, the language, each branches is different dialects. Let's see what are the examples of English dialect. British English, Cockney, London, Scottish English, and American English, Southern American English, New York accent. Other Englishes are American English, Indian English, and also Sri Lankan English. Dialects we can divide in this way: regional dialect, social dialect, and also registers. What is the regional dialect? A regional dialect is not a distinct language but a variety of a language spoken in a particular area of a country. Next one, social dialect. Social dialects, also called sociolects. It is a variety of a language used by people belonging to a particular social class or social strata. Registers. Registers are the varieties of language associated with people's occupation. Registers are the language that are used in particular field or occupation, usually sharing the same background. Correct. My next topic is Standard English. What is the Standard English? Standard English is a specific variety of English language used in formal contexts like writing and official communication, except as the president dialect and is used for formal communication across different English speaking communities. It often associated with textbooks, newspapers, official document, and literature. Now talk about what are the difference between dialect versus standard English. First feature is status. In dialect, a natural evolving variety of a language. Standard English, a prestigious dialect with institutional backing. Next one is linguistic value. In dialect, all are equally valid linguistically, but Standard English, not linguistically superior but socially preferred. Components varies in accents, vocabulary, grammar, and Standard English, primarily defined by standardized grammar, vocabulary, and spelling. Accents is not defined feature. Perception in dialect can be seen as regional, social, informal, often associated with identity, and Standard English seen as correct, proper, or formal, associated with education and authority. Usage of contents. Every conversation within a community. In Standard English, formal writing, education, media, official setting, international communication. My next topic is Sri Lankan Standard English and Sri Lankan Non-Standard English. Sri Lankan society, we get two types of English as Sri Lankan Standard English and Sri Lankan Non-Standard English. However, the difference between Standard English and Sri Lankan English can be seen very clearly. They can be discussed as follows. In first one, in Standard English, there are no sound like E, but Sri Lankan use them. For example, Standard English, paint, Sri Lankan English, pay. Train, trail, bag, bag. Most of the diphthongs in the standard English are changed into pure vowel in Sri Lankan English. In Standard English, we find consonant cultures, but in Sri Lankan English, they are broken. For example, Standard English, school. In Sri Lankan, we say school. In Standard English, street. Sri Lankan English, we say street. Next one is inclusiveness of vowel between two consonant cultures. For example, Standard English, temple, but Sri Lankan English, temple. In Standard English, simple. Sri Lankan English, simple. The stress on the first syllable shows that it a noun. Stress in second syllable, it is a verb. You can see example. Absent in first absent is noun and second convent is noun. And the third absent is a verb and the fourth convent is a verb. There are a few many key differences have Standard English and Sri Lankan English. So we will break down it that way to make easy to understand. First one is vocabulary differences. Sri Lankan English, there are some specific terms related to different fields like religion, hobby, sport, officers, and rank, fruits and plants, and also clothing and physical things, etc. But such terms are not available in Standard English. Let's see what are the examples for that. Religion. Poya, Bana, Pansil, Bodhiya, Mahanaya. Food and drinks. Polsambola, Pittu, Kaum, Kasippu. And physical features and buildings are Vava, Ganga, Madama, Ambalam. And agriculture terms are Kamata, Nira, Ambula. And sport, Por, Pol, Ankeli, Kavi, Sipada. And clothes and ornaments like sarong, havadia, like this. Next difference is misuse of grammar. In Sri Lankan, we say, I will go and come. But in Standard English, I will take your leave. Sri Lankan English, it is clear no. And Standard English, it is clear isn't. And Sri Lankan English, finished. The Standard English, they say, have you finished? And Sri Lankan English, we say, I will cut and care. In the Standard English, I will cut it for you. Next difference is change of the word order. Sri Lanka, Peter uncle, but standard English Uncle Peter. In Sri Lanka, water bottle and standard English bottled water. And next, Sri Lanka we say chicken curry, but standard English they say curry chicken. And next, money you want in Sri Lanka, but standard English they say do you want money? And next difference is doubling of word. In Sri Lanka we say come come, but in standard English they say coming. And Sri Lankan English we say why, but American English they say what is the matter. And next difference is wrong pronunciation. In Sri Lanka we say auntie, but standard English they say auntie. Finally, my conclusion is in essence, all speakers of a language use dialects, a natural and evolving variation marked by distinct pronunciation, vocabulary, grammar, each valid this systemic in own right. Standard English, however, holds a unique position. It is, in fact, one specific dialect that has risen to pronunciation due to socio-historical and politic factors rather than inherent linguistic superiority. It's characterized by its complete grammar, widely understand vocabulary, and consistent spelling and population. The relationship between dialects and standard English is not one of right and wrong, but rather of functions and content. Finally, I give you for simple activity. Look at each word and circle how you would spell it. Doing this activity to improve your knowledge according to Standard English and Sri Lankan English also dialect. This is end of my lesson. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.